While Destiny 2's utterly insidious dawning event is still fresh in our minds, it looks like Bungie may be gearing up for another lootbox-centric seasonal event. In case you forgot, Dawning was the 3-week-long seasonal holiday event that ran from December 19th, 2017 to January 9th, 2018, during which the game's aesthetics were overhauled to be all winter and Christmas-like, and in which 59 new seasonal items were added into the deplorable Eververse marketplace, all of which would be gone forever by event's end. Now, because of how stingily Bungie awarded players with free Dawning engrams, the seasonal loot boxes that grant Dawning items, and because of how expensive these items were to buy with Bright Dust, the only way to obtain all or even a portion of them before time ran out was to purchase Dawning engrams in bulk with real money. The short of it is that Bungie took a Christmas-themed event that was meant to symbolize a time of celebration and gift-giving and turned it into a platform for their greed, creating an ecosystem that encouraged paying rather than playing. The cherry on top was the poetic irony that came with Bungie making an emote called Giving the most expensive item in the game, costing enough Bright Dust that you could buy a whole armor set instead. Suffice to say that people were pissed at just how far Bungie was willing to go during a time of festivities, no less, to make some extra cash, and it became the spark that lit the wildfire that became the Remove Eververse mass protest in the Bungie forums. Now, as of the publishing of this video, it was only yesterday that the Dawning event finally came to an end, but already it looks like we can expect another seasonal event that Bungie might exploit to push their greedy antics. The following information comes from a Reddit user going by the name of Ginzor, a data miner who dug up some new information about Destiny 2's next event called Crimson Days, which is basically Valentine's Day in the Destiny lore. Now, we know that Valentine's Day is on February 14th, so we're likely only a month away before this Crimson Days event begins, and judging by what Ginzor data mined, it may not be too different from the lootbox fest that was Dawning. This can be exemplified by the script that Ginzor uncovered, which describes the Crimson Days event as follows. Guardians honor the unbreakable bonds they forge on and off the battlefield by competing in the Crucible's Crimson Days festival. First, follow the rose petals in the tower to Tess Everest. She has something for you. Speak to Tess Everest to claim your free Crimson Days engram. If this message seems familiar, that's because the Dawning event opened with a very similar message. So, just like Dawning, Crimson Days will immediately kick off by leaving players a breadcrumb trail towards the Eververse and by giving them a taste of the new seasonal loot boxes in hopes that they'll get hooked to them. Also, much like Dawning, the Crimson Day-specific engrams will feature, you guessed it, more event-specific Eververse items, ranging from emotes, ghost shells, ornaments, shaders, mods, transmat effects, to sparrows, to name a few, some of which are purely cosmetic, and others which have minor yet measurable gameplay effects. And as is the case with any seasonal event, all of the Crimson Days items will be gone forever once the event is over, adding an element of urgency to encourage players to rush towards purchasing these limited-time offers, kind of like infomercial products. These event-exclusive items are even advertised like infomercials based on the following data mine scripts, which read, "Show your love for Crimson Days with these exclusive ghost shells and emotes. Speed through Crimson Days alongside your Crimson Bond with these exclusive sparrows. These shaders and mods in the colors of roses, love, and other bonds capture the spirit of this year's Crimson Day celebrations. Your favorite weapons will inspire new bonds everywhere when they're customized with these Crimson Days exclusive ornaments." So the bottom line is that everything that's been data mined about Crimson Days sounds near identical to Dawning, suggesting that we might be in for another bumpy ride with predatory microtransaction schemes. Now, it is worth noting that all of this stuff was in-game before the Dawning event took place, before Bungie got all that negative feedback. In other words, the jury's still out on whether Bungie took the backlash against Dawning to heart and will ensure that Crimson Days doesn't suffer a similar fate. There might be a chance that they learned from their mistakes and will make adjustments to actually allow players the opportunity to earn all event-specific items within the allotted time limit just by playing the game this time around. That means allowing players to earn Crimson Days engrams by filling up the XP bar, something that the Dawning event didn't do. That means removing things like weekly caps on how many engrams you can earn. That means scattering the Crimson Days specific items throughout the game as rewards for completing activities rather than making them exclusive to the Eververse. But even if they did make some changes, keep in mind that the data mined material gives us yet another glimpse into Bungie's devious original intentions. Their original intent was to follow up the predatory Dawning event with another event just like it a month later, adding even more new limited time offer items to drain players' wallets. It's only now that they got called out numerous times for their exploitative schemes that they might consider being less scummy about their tactics, though hard to say at this point when Bungie has yet to really communicate how they plan to move forward after Dawning's unprecedented backlash. We'll have to wait and see if Bungie pulls back on the underhanded monetization tactics and uses Crimson Days as an opportunity to build rapport with their community for once, or if they end up pulling a Dawning 2.0. Until then, if you're a Destiny 2 player, just stay on your toes throughout February. After everything that's happened, you never know what moronic scheme Bungie will implement next. Or an even better option would be to just get out of this abusive relationship with Bungie while you still can, so you no longer have to be lied to and cheated to constantly. There are only so many deliberate deceptions one should forgive before saying that enough is enough, and if you ask me, looking back at all that's happened, Bungie has tried to exploit the community one too many times. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you found this video informative, and if you enjoy my content, consider supporting me on Patreon to help this channel stay independent and self-sustained. And to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.